Hey everyone, it's Lisa here from Broadway Beauty Mobile MUAs. I thought today I wanted to show you Browsense. There are so many different ways of doing your brows you would not believe, and doing brows is one of my very most favourite things in the world. But a lot of people are a bit scared to try Browsense because they think it's really tricky. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks for using this absolutely amazing brow product. And tell you what, girls, if you want literally industrial strength brows that are not coming off for love nor money, this is your bad boy. So it comes in 4 different shades. This one is dark, but they also do light, they do taupe, and they also do auburn. So there's a really good range for any different hair colours to match in. I'm going to use dark. Just like Lip Sense, it has alcohol, cosmetic grade alcohol in the formula to help it bond to your skin, to make it last for up to 18 hours. Although I personally find with this, it lasts on me even longer, but it will last up to 18 hours. It's got a little ball bearing in here, you might be able to hear it. So just like Lip Sense, you want to give it a really good shake before you use it, because basically it will mix up all of those amazing colour particles, because it's so colour pigmented with the cosmetic grade alcohol, so that you don't get streakiness. So this bit is a little bit tricky to show you because, as you can see, I literally have very few brow hairs. So this is why, for me, Browsense is a godsend. I do use Shadow Sense and stuff for my brows as well, but because I literally have virtually no brow hairs, I find Browsense works better for me. So if you are someone that maybe possibly has a medical condition of some kind, and it's made your brow hairs fall out or anything like that, this is going to be absolutely incredible for you. But you can also use it if you have got full brows as well. So I'm going to talk you through. It comes double-ended, and you get a really cute little spoolie at one end, and then you've got your product at the other end. So if you've got fuller brows than me, I don't need to do this bit, but if you've got more brow hair, what I would suggest you do, this is virtually a brand new one, so I haven't even cracked open the spoolie end, so let's undo that. So if you've got more brow hairs, you would literally brush through your brow hairs with a dry spoolie brush first, because you want to brush through your brow hairs, if you've got some, because you want to get them so they're laying exactly how you want them to finish looking like. Because once you've applied your Browsense, it is going to set your brow hairs into place. So use your little spoolie at the end before you put any product on, if you do it that way, to brush them how you want them to lay. So just neaten them up, give them a little tidy little brush to get them exactly how you're going to want them to finish. So there's a few different ways of using Browsense, but I'm going to show you my favourite way, if you like. So first of all, if you have got more brow hairs than me and you've got a fuller brow and you want a more natural look, you just want to kind of add a slight touch of colour and you still want it to look quite natural, the best thing to do is undo the tube end, and then you can you can pop that end over your little brush so that you don't get the product all over your hand. And then you can dip your spoolie into the Browsense tube. And as you pull it out, it's going to take off any excess product. So you can then literally just very gently brush through those hairs just to get a very tiny touch of colour, but with a real blended natural look. And all it's really going to do is add a little touch of extra colour, but set your brows into place. So you're going to have really gorgeous natural looking brows for the entire day and night until you decide to remove them. If you want a very slightly bolder effect, shall we say, you can also brush your hairs into place again, like you would have before. Then use the other end. It comes with a really fine little brush look. So, like we said, give it a good shake up first. And then, if you want just a slight more product, you can use the fine brush just to literally brush a little bit through your hairs, going through like that. So you'd start at the front, just brush a tiny amount through, going all the way through to the tail of your brow. Then, if you wanted to soften it a little bit, again, use your spoolie. Let it dry for a couple of minutes first, then just use your spoolie to brush it out a little bit, and it will soften the effect. If you want it to be a little bit softer, but not as natural, rather than using the spoolie to brush through after you've applied the Browsense, get yourself an angled brow brush. So by angled, I mean as in a slanted brow brush. This is quite a fine one, but you can get lots of different shapes and sizes. Really doesn't matter, whatever you feel the most comfortable using. So again, you do exactly the same, brush a little bit through, going all the way along the length of the brow. When you get to your arch, sort of then taper it going downwards to the end of the tail. And then rather than, give it a couple of minutes to dry a little bit, rather than going through with your spoolie, before it dries and sets, just use your slanted brush just to brush the product through a little bit more. And that will just give you a slightly bolder brow effect, but it will also be that little bit more natural. Now, for those of you girlies like me that literally have no brow hairs, so you have nothing for the product to cling onto as such if you were to like brush it through someone that's got brow hairs. For us that haven't got any brow hairs, this is still amazing. Now, I like quite a bold brow, so I'm going to show you how I do mine, but I will start off doing it a little bit lighter, I suppose, so that you can see you don't have to have it as bold as I like mine. So give it a really good shake. Like I say, it does come with a really fine brush, which really helps. Now, I have seen in the past some people like to take out the little stopper and then use the stopper to dip their little brush, their little angled brush into. However, let's be real here, right? Not all of us want to faff around taking the stopper out of our Browsense all the time to put it back in, to dip our brush in and all that kajazz. We haven't all got time, have we? You know, even if we're actually going out, which, you know, it's not really happening at the moment, let's be fair. So I like to do it like this. Now, Browsense does dry quite quickly because of the cosmetic grade alcohol. Because as the alcohol evaporates, that's how the product then bonds to your hair. Or in this case, if you're like me and don't have really any brow hairs, it's going to bond to your skin like Lipsense does, which is amazing. It's incredible because you are not going to have to worry about wiping off those brows because it's not going to happen. So what we need to do is, I like to start going along the bottom line of my brow. Some people like doing it from the top line first. I'm just showing you how I like to do it. So we've given it a good shake. I'm going to start on the bottom line. Now, because it dries quickly, you do get maybe 30 seconds or so before it dries to play and work with it. So you're better to do very small little bits at a time and work your way along the brow. So I'm going to start at the very front here of the body of the brow. I've got another mirror here, so I'm just going to use this to kind of put here because it's going to help stretch out, because when you look down you naturally lift up your eyebrows, so it's going to raise the distance between your brows and your lower lid, giving you more space to work with, which is really helpful. So I'm going to literally start on the bottom and I'm just going to put that amount, and that's it to begin with. And I'm going to use my slanted brush to work that product a bit further along. Ta-da! And like I say, you want to do very small little bits at a time so that you've got time to work with that little bit before it dries. So I'm just going to do a little bit more. So I've just popped a little more there. And now we're going to blend that bit across. There we go. So I've now got as far as the arch. So I'm now just going to pop a little bit around the arch and do exactly the same. And you're literally doing exactly the same the whole way along the length of your brow, from the front of the body all the way to the end of the tail. So this time, I'm not going to put as much product because you're going to be blending that to the end of the tail. So you don't want too much, otherwise when you then go to blend down, it's going to end up down here somewhere. So you don't, just be a little bit careful. So now I've done the bottom line of the brow. I'm going to start on the top, but this time I like to kind of work backwards. We're still going to be going in the same direction, but we're going to start at the tail. So we're literally going back on ourselves, but on the top line. So this time, I'm putting a little touch on the top there at the tail. And blend that down to meet where I finished on the bottom, like so. And then I'm going to go just around the arch, like that. And then blend that bit down to where we'd got to before, like so. And then I'm going to go back to the body bit, but on the top. There we go. And just blend that. And if there is a bit more product, you can then start to blend that down from that top line, like that, to fill in this middle bit between the top and the bottom line. So I'm just going to go about here. Now, obviously, if you want a bigger brow, you can do a thicker brow. It's entirely up to you how you like your brows. This is just how I like mine. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do, I've got kind of a tiny gappy bit there. So I'm literally going to put a tiny touch there. You don't want too much at all. And just, again, just use your brush to brush into place where you want that product to go. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same with that bit there. So this is quite a structured brow look, but it's because I literally have no brow hairs. I literally have none. So you are literally creating a brow for yourself. There we go. Just pop a touch more there. Like so. There we go. Now, if you wanted to make that a little bit softer, you absolutely can. Once that's dry, which that is now dry already. Look, already dry because of the cosmetic alcohol. And already totally and utterly budge proof. Not going to be moving absolutely anywhere. These brows are literally insane. Insanely, amazingly budge proof. They're just never coming off until you remove your makeup. So now I've got like this bit at the front here. Now, this is entirely up to you on what you prefer with your brows. You can do exactly as we've already done with the rest of the brow and fill it in exactly the same. But the other amazing thing with Browsense is, because it comes with such a tiny, fine little brush, that it is so fine, it's really, really easy to actually create yourself some natural looking hair strokes, which is awesome. Because it kind of almost creates a semi-permanently tattooed brow look. So I tend to start at the very front of the brow here and just draw 2 or 3 hairs to begin with, and you can then just soften them using your slanted brush before it dries a little bit. There we go. And then if you want to put a few more in, you can. So you can literally just add a few more tiny hair strokes there. And now this is especially good if you're like me and you really don't have any brow hairs. You've actually made yourself some little brow hairs, which is really awesome. So then, once I've done a few little brow hairs, look, I then just kind of fill in that little bit there, go in more with the hair strokes. There we go. And just blend that into place as well. Then if you want to make those a bit heavier with the hair strokes, you absolutely can, or you can leave it like that. I think I'm going to just add a couple extra. There we go. And I'm just going to fold the bottom just a little bit more. There we go. And there we go. Brow with little brow strokes, hair strokes on this side. No brow at all on this side. Awesome. But you can also use the very same technique even if you do have brow hairs. So even if you have brow hairs but you want quite a structured, bold brow look, you can do exactly the same as I've just done, even if you do have some brow hairs. Another way of doing it, again, shake up your Browsense before you start, to make sure you mix the colour pigment with the cosmetic grade alcohol. Another little way you can do, which is a very slightly softer brow, and again, you can do it whether you've got virtually zero brow hairs like me, or if you've got brow hairs. So, if you have got brow hairs, like we said earlier on in the video, just give those a little brush and a tidy into position with the little spoolie first. Then, use the really fine little Browsense brush. And what you want to do is go with the way that your hairs grow. Or, if you're like me and have lack of hairs, how they would grow if you had them. So, you can literally... Let me take my mirror again, because I can't see very well in the camera, because I normally wear glasses. So, you can then just start at the front. And again, create some little hair strokes. Just literally drawing on some really fine little strokes. And if you want to soften them, just use your slanted brush to soften that colour a little bit before it dries. There you go. And then you literally do the same thing, following your hairs, or the way your hairs would grow, all the way along your brow. So you literally just keep doing some tiny little hair strokes. So just pop a bit more. So you are just popping some hairs. And obviously, if there are any little gappy bits that you want to fill in, you can go back and fill those in as well. If you do want to soften them, do a few little hairs. And then, again, use your slanted brush to just soften them a little bit before you carry on and do any more. And then you just literally go in like a slanted direction, the way your natural hairs would grow, until you get as far as the arch here. Like so. And then you're going to draw downwards. So then you just draw some fine little hairs just going down at the end of the tail. And then if you want to soften them again, just use your slanted brush. So I've got like a little gap up here. So I'm just going to fill that in a little bit. I'm just going to soften it again. Okay. But that's basically all you do. And that gives you a slightly less structured, but lots of little hair strokes. So you can do it either way. It's entirely up to you and your preference of what style of brow you like. I prefer, personally, for me, a more structured, bolder brow. If you prefer a softer brow, just pop some in with some hair strokes. But it doesn't matter whether you've got zero hairs or you have got hairs. Browsense for the win. This product is absolutely insane for giving you zero budging brows. They are not going to be moving anywhere at all until you decide to remove your makeup. Absolutely winning. Mwah!